probably.
It's not muted. Okay.
Okie dokie then. That's a problem. That
No,
seems like it might be an issue.
I just didn't click on it.
Ah.
Welcome back to Ace Attorney. I'm being a little bit more silly in my titles today.
Let's see. I'm not on Twitch to see it, I think.
Last time, as stated in the announcement thing, Lana has admitted to not using factual evidence in Joe Dark's case. A man who looks and sounds like a bit character in a DC or Marvel book as a civilian villain.
You know what he is now?
What?
He is the character that the GM puts forward as like, no, he's not a villain.
Everyone can trust Joe. His name is Joe Dark. Everyone can trust Joe Dark.
Yeah, clearly he's not a villain. What are you talking about? That is legitimately what that man is.
Yeah. Kyle and I are.
All right, I was going to tell you that thing.
Yeah.
As we got started.
Kyle and I are just for quick context. Kyle and I are sort of doing like a tutorial thing because we play Pathfinder and Fancy, where some of you might remember and some of you might not because you were not there for that. Is part of our group, but she has not played Pathfinder before, so she's basically in tutorial mode, and she's playing an alchemist, which is like playing skipping tutorial mode and going to hard mode.
Alchemist is a little tricky, a little not. It depends on how you kind of get used to it. Basically, we're doing the 2E kind of beginner book sort of thing. It's basically going to be, I think, like 3 sessions of that to kind of get a bit more used to the system and a bit more used to how certain things work, because 2E versus 1E, there's a lot of similarities, but a lot of things also changed, especially when Wizards of the Coast released that OGL and Pathfinder realized that there were a couple of spells that overlapped. So those had to get name changes, which means that a lot of spells are no longer what they used to be. On that note, Quinn, I think one of the spells that you recently cast that confused Moon was Color Spray. That got changed to Dazzling Colors because OGL.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's just something to get used to. We just got to remember that certain things got changed. For instance, I found True Strike. True Strike is now called Sure Strike.
Paladin got outright changed to champion, which...
Oh no, Paladin is still under champion. It's just champion is more like a general all alignment ultimate form of this sort of being. So it's like the Paladin is the one who upholds law and order and represents his god in doing so. So it's a champion of that god, but it does not necessarily need to be a paladin. Now it could be multiple different things.
All right, you know what? That's fair.
They also changed this so that paladin no longer needs to be lawful good, which I'm actually kind of good with, weirdly.
Yeah, there are some gods that aren't lawful good.
Yeah, there are some gods that aren't lawful good, but they also like uphold law and order and have their own way of doing things. Instead, it is represented on how you want to represent your god determines what champion you are, which I personally think is kind of a good way to do it. It means that you don't have to play a lawful good paladin. You're not as bound up by the law of being good. Instead, you're bound up by your tenets, which is similar to the old paladin oath. We're getting a little off track. The thing that I wanted to mention before we had gotten started is that I'm making a bard for the kind of the beginner book. I'm not going with one of the pre-gens because I know some of the system a bit more than others, and I wanted to kind of take a look at some other classes so I can help out other people and stuff like that, and so I can learn a little bit more about certain systems. So I decided to play a bard whose muse is the warrior. He is a half elf, half orc bard, taking the Dromar heritage, which is the new form of half orc in the system, which I actually kind of like because it gives it a bit more kind of like ancestral legacy to the class or to the name. Um, he's using an elven curve blade, and I realized I could do some very dumb things with this. See, the warrior bard's whole thing is that every time that he hits somebody with a strike, a composition cantrip gets extended by 1 round. So the Courageous Anthem gets extended every time that I hit somebody by 1 round. And you can extend an individual casting only once in this way, but it does mean that I can kind of combo the composition, the courage, and the like strength compositions at the same time. So I can have both of those going for pretty much no spell cost in just 1 action round, so long as I hit each turn, which is pretty high in the system at the moment. But no, that wasn't the funny thing. The funny thing I then realized is that I can go full Dragon Ball with the spell Inner Radiance Torrent, which is a force, light, and necromancy spell. It takes up to 2 rounds to cast. Up to. And it has an area of 60 feet line or longer. It is a reflex saving throw to avoid it. Then there's a description. Go ahead and stop me if you've heard this before. You gradually manifest your spiritual energy into your cupped hands before
I've heard this
firing off a
before.
storm of bolts. Yeah,
So
the entire thing is a Kamehameha.
you're doing all this ridiculous stuff, and all of them feel like I do want to take the pre-gen character, but also can I make it so I just always have a weapon in combat? One of my favorite tropes in like a lot of media is the idea of an improvised weapon or using something incorrectly in combat, as seen in Dead Rising. So
it is very fun to do that. I think Fighter does actually get some stuff for improvised combat, like straight off the bat. Just you kind of need to focus a bit on it. I'd have to look into it and give some suggestions probably, but generally it's. I just love the Kamehameha in here. The thing is, you fire off a storm of bolts and beams that deal 44 force damage to all creatures in a 60-foot line, and creatures in the area must attempt a basic reflex save. On a critical failure, they are also blinded for 1 round. They combined it with the solar flare. The number of actions you spend when casting the spell determines the area. So, if the line passes through an area of magical darkness or targets a creature affected by magical darkness, Inner Radiance Torrent attempts to counteract the darkness as well. That's why it's a light spell. The basic form of it is 44 damage, as in 4d4 dice, and it's a 2-action spell that goes out to 60 feet. If I extend it to 3 actions, the line becomes 120 feet long, doubling in size. And if I then spend 2 full rounds casting it, the line becomes 120 feet long. If you spend 3 actions casting the spell, you can avoid finishing the spell and spend another 3 actions on your next turn to empower the spell even further. If you choose to do so, the damage dealt by this spell increases to 44, or by 44, so it's 8d4. And you enter a shining state for 1 minute, causing you to glow with light and deal 1 force damage to creatures that end their turn adjacent to you. You become so bright it hurts. And it increases in damage and strength every time that you heighten the spell. So it can get really strong later on. It's a hilariously dumb spell to take because it takes up to like 2 rounds to cast this beam, but I love it. It's such a dumb spell, but it feels perfect for the gladiator bard who is like trying to embolden the party, becoming a shining beacon on the battlefield. I goddamn love it. And I'm really looking forward to trying it out at least once. Unfortunately, I don't get access to it, I think, until level 3, but still.
I don't think we might even reach level 3, but you might have that character like in your back pocket.
I'll probably keep it in the back pocket. Yeah, that's the big thing. I just wanted to share that because that spell, oh god, I just love that I found that. I wouldn't have noticed it if it wasn't for the long name of Inner Radiance Torrent. I don't know who designed this spell, but whoever did, thank you, you maniac.
Um, yeah, just literally as you were talking, it's like, whoa, how else would I describe like improvised weaponry? And then my brain's like, oh yeah, just every sort of 2D beat 'em up. That's what I want. Except I also can, carry weapons. So I don't know how to explain it other than a lot of than 2D beat 'em up.
I'll try to look into like some stuff to make it easier on a character to use improvised weapons. I think there's a lot in there for it. Um,
I know in the webcomic weekly, I know me talking about a webcomic, big surprise. The paladin character is implied to have improvised weapon because he can get smite off with a quill,
oh
and
god.
I believe only in if you're trained in improvised weapons can you do that in D&D.
Oh wait, actually, Nem, you could do it with any class. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, now I can play a Yakuza character by being a monk with improvised weapon.
There's even a list of improvised weapon ideas. That's interesting. Oh wow, cavern improvised weapon ideas. Broken stalagmites, large mushrooms, old bones.
Okay,
You could
so
use fruit as an improvised weapon.
next Pathfinder game because I don't want to kill Ever to play this character, and
Ah,
I also want to like play Job at some point, so probably like third character. Um, Either fighter that's going also into unarmed combat, or monk with improvised weaponry because that sounds fucking amazing.
so the archetype is weapon improviser. As far as you're concerned, the best weapon to wield is the one that your opponents never see coming. And that immediately, just taking the dedication, gets rid of the attack penalty for improvised weapons. You could do it at level 2.
Yeah, that sounds like again going into webcomics. Which bit it's one of the things that made me like love the idea of improvised weapons in general. I haven't really read the comic itself. I remember starting reading it one time when I was a kid, and then just I saw how much their wood was, put it off, and then never got back into it. But there's a well known comic called Girl Genius.
Mm-hmm.
This is the point where you'll laugh because this is one of the longest running ones.
No, no, I had to laugh because I saw the penultimate feat. Oh no.
Say after I explain
Yeah,
my thing
I'm
first.
waiting for you to explain your thing
So
first.
among the many things in Girl Genius, one of which is it's all mad scientists in the steampunk universe, which now that I say this makes me want to go back and try reading the whole thing again. It'll be like it's a long sort of binge I have to go through, so this will take me some time. Um, and the Jaegers, which I'm not 100% sure their origin, but they're sort of like think monsters with very thick German accents and an exception of Haps. and fighting. That's a Jaeger. Um, but there's a
Mhm.
scene where, again, I don't know the context. I just like found the link. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I like this trope. Where characters are in a brawl and they're basically going, by brawl rules you can't use weapons. And the guy who said it promptly beans a guy over the head with a tankard and replies, "It's a tankard, not a weapon."
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, that is, I
That's a
never
good
thought of that, but I really want to do this now.
yeah. Oh man. So
I think like in a later scene, in the same comic, in the same arc, a character is heard saying, "Chair, not a weapon." Sorry,
oh
continue.
my gosh.
Say your thing now.
So so I was looking through it a little bit and I noticed two things. One, improvised pummel. It's a one action ability. It basically replaces your strike because it's not a finesse. You can do it multiple times. You make a strike with your wielded improvised weapon. You gain +1 item bonus to the attack roll, and the strike deals 2 weapon damage dice if it would have dealt fewer. That's pretty good because it compensates for striking because you can't get that on an improvised weapon you just pick up. That's not a magic item, no, is it? But if the attack is a critical hit, in addition to the effect of the critical hit, the improvised weapon breaks. And this scales with your level. At 12th, the attack bonus increases to +2 instead of +1, and at 16th, it does 3 damage dice if it would have dealt fewer instead of 2. That's all well and good. The funny part, however, is when you hit level 10. Because when you hit level 10, you have access to a feat called Shattering Strike Weapon Improviser. You need improvised pummel, and the trigger is that an improvised weapon that you are wielding becomes broken as a result of a critical success on improvised pummel. The improvised weapon shatters, destroying it completely, but dealing an additional 3d6 piercing damage to the creature you hit with the improvised pummel. This extra damage you apply on the critical hit doesn't double from the critical hit as normal, but it's basically a reaction you could use if you break your weapon. So in Yakuza style, it's like you pick up the pole cue, you smack someone over the head with it, it breaks. You look at the broken pole cue, and you chuck it at them instead.
I remember in Dead Rising, the first Dead Rising. There are actually a couple of weapons that break into more dangerous weapons.
Yeah.
None the least are the female mannequin, which it didn't
Oh.
happen. It doesn't happen in 3 as much, and definitely doesn't happen very much in 4, which frustrates me to no end. But
Mhm.
it becomes like the head, the leg, the hand, and I think like the thigh or the leg of the female mannequin is actually a very decent weapon. It's not the
It,
greatest. The greatest is the small chainsaw, but
oh my god, this is so hilarious. Surprise strike. If you attack somebody with an improvised weapon that hasn't seen you attack with one before, they're flat footed.
oh
Because
god,
they don't expect you to pick up that chair and beat them over the head. And the absolute best one of the list, makeshift strike at level 8. You quickly snatch up whatever's nearby and then attack with it as an improvised weapon. You interact to pick up a nearby object you could use as an improvised weapon. It must be located at around your chest level, such as a mug on a table, rather than an object on the floor. You then either strike or make an improvised pummel with the improvised weapon. So literally, it's a case of just, I broke the weapon over your head. Good thing we're in a bar and there's a lot of mugs.
I'll be 100% honest. Probably to the point of obnoxiousness. Whenever I would do this, I would probably say, whatever the weapon is, not a weapon. You can't arrest me for this. Is there? Remind me. Is there like a thing of monk where you can't use traditional weapons? Can I just?
Um,
I know there's
so the
like.
thing
I know there's like vows for different things. I don't know if this was homebrewed or not, but I definitely remember one was like you couldn't use traditional weapons and sort of like a case of just using hand to hand combat. I just think of, well, this isn't a traditional weapon, so technically.
So Monk in second edition got. We're really talking about this a good bit, but we'll get started with the game in a little bit here.
You didn't get this
Vanilla way to play.
much at all during April. You have to deal with this now.
So Monk actually does have access to a large number of items that are considered to be monk weapons. Um, it is an ability with this trader from the monk class, and that means that you get access to a lot of different things that work with those weapons. So Flurry of Blows, for instance, is something that works mostly with unarmed attacks. And for the monk, that is fine because the monk will generally do about 1d6 damage with their fist alone. And it allows them to strike about 4 times a round because they get 2 blows off of the first flurry of blows, then another 2 from standard actions. It's less insane than the Pathfinder 1E monk that just kept getting more attacks every time that they attacked. And it does mean that you can't do certain things with it, but it does mean that for the purposes of something like an improvised fighter, they can open up with a flurry of blows, then pick up a chair and beat someone over the head with it. So long as you have any part of your body that is considered to be an unarmed attack, you're able to do it. Fists, feet, elbows, knees, you can combo into the unarmed attacks with that.
So yes, I could in fact play like a Yakuza character.
There are even races that get extra unarmed features and like items essentially that would count for flurry of blows. Any like martial or any race that has access to a bite attack, for instance, could use a bite attack with flurry of blows.
Okay, as amazing as it is for the idea.
Yeah, we'll get really deep into this if we keep going.
Yeah, this is an average experience for us folks.
Yep.
It's either this or video games or something related to both. But as much as I want to keep talking about it, and I do, we should probably.
One more thing. I just realized you could do. Oh no. Oh no. Yep, that works. So one thing that you could do is you could become a monk, take stumbling stance at first level, and then go into the improvised weapon stuff. Congratulations, you've become a drunken bar fighter.
Just like I always wanted.
You get a stance where you get a +1 circumstance bonus to deception checks to feint. The only strikes you can make are stumbling, swing, unarmed attacks. These deal 1d8 bludgeoning damage, are in the brawling group, and have the agile, backstabber, finesse, non-lethal, and unarmed traits. And anytime that somebody hits you, they're flat-footed against the next stumbling swing strike you make against them before the end of your next turn. God, I love this. There's so many stupid things you could do. Anyways.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be distracted later. Back to more serious topics like blah and... Wait, this isn't very serious at all, is it? I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. This is a flashback. I don't need to say anything.
Yeah, I know. We kind of generally know what's going on here, I think, at this point. For the recap for us, or for anybody that's watching, I guess. Her sister has admitted to, forging evidence.
I didn't know. I never knew the SO9 incident. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
I don't want a Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
What did you have to do with those killings, Emma? That's a flashback, but you can speak here, you know.
No, I know. It's just again.
Oh yeah, just the.
I haven't done any killing. My hands are blood free. I just have this knife. This knife is for apples. The night of.
It's a paring knife.
The night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Yes, he does that. He has a history of that.
You know what? I really shouldn't be surprised. I've seen this man's photo. He really does look like he just stabs people.
He's naturally just pure white, in fact.
You know what? With how he's dressed and everything, I'm really sad that it's moved off of the scene now. But the only thing I can think of whenever I see that man is that he really didn't originally plan to murder people. He was probably just in the process of like making something, and he just accidentally stabs someone. It's just like, oh no, this is gonna become my thing, isn't it?
Oh
this
no!
Makes too much sense. I've looked at myself in the mirror and thought I might be a murderer someday.
Oh no! The whole Jiffy-was curse has come true.
Well, off I go stabbing again.
Apologies, but apologies for using the incorrect term, but I don't know if perhaps Joe Dark is politically incorrect.
I mean,
he did murder multiple people.
Yeah, he did murder. I think. You know what? It would be that's a character trait for somebody having to be politically correct while they stab people.
Have you seen? It was ages ago. There was this, like, it sort of came up with a different move at the same time. That it's basically like when liberal. It's gonna drive me bonkers. I'll remember it later. But the Borland was like, yeah, this woman like said something that she should not have said on Twitter, and then lost a job for it, and decided, you know what, I'm just going to, kill people who are politically against me. And like another big fact is that they completely misinterpreted Animal Farm. When it comes to me, I'm going to be very annoyed because it's on the tip of my tongue.
You're sitting here like, I know what this is, I just don't recall like where it's from.
But there's literally a scene between two people running an old and pop shop that had like poisoned like a few people, and they're just like trying to decide like political correctness terms of various things. And they're like people in their 50s.
Oh gosh.
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one come. What are you talking about, Phoenix? No. We cannot let this pass. Open up the court record. Open up the court record. Go to the trial record, please. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, that one. Go ahead and open that. Perpetrator, yeah. Victims, trial date. Witnesses, gee! I wonder how I didn't see this one coming. The fuck, Phoenix? This thing was integral at the end of the last trial. Like,
He's not very good at studying.
No. He went through the victim list. He went through everything, and I think, if I recall correctly, after this page, it shows who the head detective was. Yeah, Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall. You know, he clearly read this. I think Phoenix Wright just really does not have a good memory.
It would explain some things.
It really would, wouldn't it? I just had to point that out because I'm just sitting here like, Phoenix, come on, man. Oh my god. Okay, we can continue. I just had to point that out because.
No, that's fair.
How do you not notice that? I just like. Oh my god.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right around this time of year. There's a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was all alone in my sister's office. We were planning on to eat dinner together when she finished her work. And suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Hello, I'm just in the process of murdering people. I've been caught, but I just want to get one more freebie today. Do you have any apples?
Yeah, by the way, do you happen to have any apples? I could do with a few for later. Joe Dark. Yep. Mr. I clearly killed a man, and I will do it again.
I've killed at least 5 or 6 people. I have lost count. Seems like he was running from someone. He pulled a knife and screamed at me.
Oh god, no. Hold on a second. We have to investigate this case now, because last time somebody drew a knife, they stabbed a certain Officer Meekins. Was he on the payroll at the time? There might have been an incident.
Meekins let out Joe Dark years ago. Or hours ago.
It turns out Joe Dark never meant to kill anybody. He just he got very confused by Officer Meekins, and he got spooked by him due to the megaphone. He just ran in.
I have PTSD. He kept yelling at me, and I have to kill again.
He wasn't even a murderer or anything like that. Meekins just kept shouting at him with a megaphone, and he was trying to get out of the room so he could finish cutting an apple. He just had the knife.
I'm very clumsy.
He just walks in the room with Lana, and then this guy just I'm terribly sorry, I'm trying to get away from Meekins. There's just a gunshot.
It's not even aimed at anyone. Meekins just fumbled his gun.
Just a really, really unfortunate series of events. Oh god. Continue.
Sorry, as soon as I find it, I'm going to tell you. I can't remember if it's a good movie, but it's definitely a movie. It's the case of going, yeah, no, the main character will survive every horror movie imaginable. I don't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. Before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
permanent picture.
I don't remember the moment where Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that.
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up. You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. This is legit. Are you sure this is legitimate evidence? There's like a price sticker on it, and alright.
Edgeworth is just staring at it like he looks from it to Lana, back to the evidence again. Just goes, Lana, this sticker reads, I owe you one evidence. Why did you hand me this?
One legitimate evidence.
What I had.
That's you.
Oh yeah. Well, Edgeworth.
Yes, I'm sure you didn't know anything about it. Alright, I guess this is how you do it here. I've been in Germany for a while.
No, honestly, this is Edgeworth we're talking about here. Knowing him, he got handed the evidence, stared at it for a few minutes, and then basically just went, well, this seems on the up and up.
To be frank, he hasn't been sleeping for a while. The idea of Edgeworth being sleep-deprived for a big period of his life is just hilarious to me.
I think the other thing is just like, Edgeworth, when it comes to any evidence and any of his witnesses, has the worst luck. This has been well established in the series. So it's far more likely that he looked at the evidence and then went, well, I have no reason to doubt this. I'll continue on then. Because he has no idea.
I actually have to go real quick.
Uh-oh.
Mom's coming in 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Take care of that. Don't worry. I'll be here. I'll keep people entertained as best as I can. As usual. He's probably already abandoned me.
I can hear you. I have my headphones on. Just, I don't know, tell people about Pathfinder stories or whatever.
There was a recent dumb thing I had to do in the Pathfinder 1E game. Oh god, that was such a bad decision. So I play a Pathfinder 1E game on Sundays usually, and I'm playing a magus in that. Like we've mentioned this before on the channel, we've done a lot of like funny things, kind of talking about the wizard that got through college by the skin of his teeth that's in the party. This does not involve that man directly. Oh no. Yes. There it goes. Okay, it's back. I like how I could use the music to determine whether or not I've been cut off. That is so helpful to me. As I was saying, the situation that I got myself into didn't directly involve him. It was more like we just kind of had to deal with it. And the issue that kind of came up was our party had to go deep into like undead territory to deal with the problem. And now we got into a big skirmish and then realized that we had just drawn a lot of noise and created a lot of chaos. So somebody needed to be baked. Problem is, most of the other party was either heavily damaged, too slow, or level drained. Because we had gotten into a fight with a white monk, W-I-G-H-T. That level drain, man, that stuff stings so often. So that was kind of a big issue that we had to deal with, and I volunteered my character because I'm a magus. I have expeditious retreat. I can get out of that situation pretty smoothly. It's not a big deal for my character. I've also still got plenty of spells I can work with, so I'm not too worried about getting absolutely demolished. I can even recharge a couple using the abilities of a magus. So I go into it thinking, all right, I'm gonna get in, get out really quick. This will be fine. We'll work from there. Oh boy, did not go to plan, to say the least. I succeeded in drawing the attention of everything in the nearby area because we had our cleric use one of his last few spells to cast daylight on me, which turned me into a glowing beacon of, hey, come here. He then said, I'm going to disable a spell in 3 minutes, run. So I did. I cast Expeditious Retreat, my movement speed went up to 60 feet around, or not even around, just like 60 feet base. And I started running. Full tilt, not stopping, because I knew that the second I stopped, I'm probably going to get annihilated by something. Yeah, that turned out to be a bit more accurate than I thought. I had continued running. I hit one patrol. Somebody cast Scorching Ray, sizzled my backside. I am down about a quarter of my health already. I run into another patrol. I get hit with Acid Arrow on top of Scorching Ray. So there goes another quarter of my health. I then keep running and keep running. And then I encounter a couple of enemies that I'm going to find the name of for anybody that's interested, because they got mentioned recently. It was Festerogs. That's what they're called. And if you want to know how dangerous these things are, they move more like an undead hound than an undead man. They're medium sized normally. These ones I think are enhanced, so they are large by default. And their CR is way higher up. These things were going to be used as siege engines by an undead army, and I got chased by 3 of them. Their base movement speed is 30 feet. At their size, they were only 5 feet slower than I was. But they have scent, meaning that they can track me, and dark vision. The only reason I got out of that situation was I went out of the city limits and ran for a good 2 to 3 minutes just to get away from them, even after the daylight ended, and then cast Blend on myself to hide, because I'm a half-elf. You get access to that one. That was a good move. They were right on top of me within moments, and if I hadn't rolled a good stealth roll at that point, I probably would have been immediately murdered because I did not have the health to fight off about 3 siege engines. I call them hounds, but I think the closest I can get to it would be, if anybody that watches this has ever played any of the Total War Warhammer games, the undead army tends to have a lot of really large bestial undead that they use as monstrous infantry. It's that kind of thing chasing after you. And I'm a lone magus that is just trying to distract them without the help of the rest of my party. And I nearly got murdered. Multiple times. Got out of the situation, but not something I think I'd want to put that character through anytime soon. My character actually was so tired from the run that he just passed out on the spot. So, not the greatest situation for anybody to be in. That's about it for that part. The day afterwards, the item that we had gotten was a jar that allows us to create anything so long as we draw it properly. Which I'm sure many people that don't know anything about Pathfinder immediately looked at me and went just like, why did you get that? This was a bad idea. Giving us an item that can create pretty much anything, so long as it's got a couple of limitations. Any GM knows that players will find ways to manipulate that, and it is hilarious when we do. this case, we used it to create a set of balloons that float over the target and then dropped a bunch of alchemist fire. So we created a bombing machine, essentially. Just, our GM was very confused that day. Oh. I'm sure Neil will be back soon, though.
I'm almost back. I'm just going to use the restroom real quick.
Yep. No problem.
Was this the incident where your party could not decide on a plan?
Yes, it was. The silence, I know, is because he was going to the bathroom, but also just because there's not really much to say about that. Yeah, the party couldn't decide on a plan because, again, we had suddenly gotten a hold of an item that allows us to create whatever we wanted. Nobody could figure out exactly what they wanted to make. Eventually, the whole balloon bombing run plan was what they sell it on, but I'm pretty sure it would have been there for another like 5 to 10 hours if they hadn't decided on that. Oh god. The party's funny. It's nice to be around them, but dear god, if you give them too much free roam, they will free roam. Oh.
And I'm back. I'm sorry.
Welcome back. No problem, man. I hope we kept people entertained.
I hope so too. I was entertained. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just have testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not know it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
That's a pretty nice picture, to be fair.
It is, yeah.
Drake knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
You've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify to that about that incident. I tried, but the words wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable.
I'm about to stab a 14-year-old! Do you...
It's not the first time that we've had like a underage character show up for a court trial.
Yeah, but he had a katana, therefore he was better.
That's not how that works, and you know it.
I know, but it might work in Ace Attorney Land. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'll become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. And to find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes them tick. There's still something that bothers me.
You okay?
Oh, about that crime. I didn't see the last part. I thought it was done. Something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
I don't know where the exits are in this place. Ooh! I'm just picking door at random.
No. I know exactly how to answer this one. You see, he was summoned by the Blue Badger.
Blue Badger 2 years ago. 3 years ago was known as the Cleansing.
We had to change his image so that he would stop frightening off the criminals. They knew too much about him.
And then 2 years ago, he was very upset with that. We have made an error.
So he took a prosecutor with him.
All I can think of is like in a Pop Decker blog. It's like 2 years ago, like dated 2 years ago, we've changed his image. He is very displeased. We have made an error, and then there's just blood spatter covering the rest of it.
Oh god, I need to like create a fucking thing for that now. God damn it.
Create what? I didn't hear you.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh, there's no mystery there.
Like I said, it was a Blue Badger.
Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. I didn't kill those people. I didn't stab them multiple times in the neck. We just asked for your name. Ooh.
Hold on a bit. Wait, no. Hold on a second. We need to really quickly cover just the lack of clear foresight on the police officers at that time. Well, let me point out here.
No, you don't.
In every image, he has a knife and he's about to stab Joe Marshall. Who let this man keep his knife in the interrogation room? Isn't like the first thing you do a check to see if they have any weapons?
Apparently, this is a bit from the future. I just have the S19 incident on the wiki up right now. Apparently, he turned himself in, so maybe they thought he was unarmed.
You still check him. Still check him. Because the weapon could be a harm to himself.
Point of order. Even without our weird growing headcanon about the Blue Badger, I'm pretty sure the police is mostly incompetent other than Dick Gumshoe.
You're not wrong, but still, this must have been before Dick actually got on. This is probably the case that got him promoted to detective.
I'm gonna check the wiki, because I don't think it's ever mentioned how long he's been a detective for. He might have been out of the building at the time, since he's the only competent detective.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, he saved Wright's ass during the Samurai Turnabout case.
Yeah.
He was very, very competently just like, I heard everything. You're taking you in. It's just like, yep, that good move, Dick. You saved us. Could you do that more often, please?
Oh, he's no longer a detective because he works in the Wright & Co. law offices now.
Oh, Gumshoe?
Yeah. He's 32, though.
You know what? I'm actually fine with him leaving the detective agency. If he's working with Phoenix Wright, hey, credit to him. That is a seriously good decision.
Okay, according to an early life bit, when Gumshoe's a child, you want to be a wizard, which is fair. When you're a child, you have unrealistic dreams. Or maybe realistic dreams, since apparently people can channel ghosts.
The spiritual realm in this game is a little all over the place, I admit.
Gumshoe was also once a part-time mover at some point for joining the police force.
Hmm.
He made a working bug tech when he was young. Was useful in police investigation years later. Apparently, he also had a dream of becoming a member of the police force. Uh, then being promoted to homicide detective in 2012.
Huh. He's got quite a service history then.
Yeah, Righteous to Ashes, the SNL incident. Took place in 2012, 14. So it might have been out of the building at the time.
He might have, yeah.
Yeah, Marshall was like 2015, so he might at 7 to 7:30 p.m. So he might have been out of the building or just went home.
He also might not have had the right jurisdiction because
Yeah.
he wasn't on the list of investigators or detectives that were part of this particular crime spree.
So clearly he should have been.
Mm-hmm. You know, the dumb thing here too, if he turned himself in, like, that means that he's admitted guilt. You don't need to forge evidence. He's already admitted to the crime. I somebody's dumb.
I think this is
that's
more.
all we can
I think
say.
that might be partially Shumi doesn't know how law works.
Yeah, that's true. I did watch some of the. I think we talked about it last time. There was the Japanese lawyer on Legal Eagle that was talking, or that was going over like the whole case and everything.
They were covering
And,
the anime, but yeah.
Yeah, and they did talk a lot about how, like, this is not how this is run in Japan. This is not how this is run in the U.S. It really does seem like he's taken it more from civil court cases than he has from criminal court cases. Because civil court cases in Japan apparently do actually have a judge presiding over that makes the decision. Criminal court cases usually have a jury, though. A jury and 3 other judges. Actually, it's pretty intense.
What makes sense because you can kind of see in the anime, and I guess in some far shots that there's seats underneath the judge seat.
Yeah, it's just that, like, the court in Japan does not actually look like that. No court in Japan looks like that. So it's very stylized, which, you know, that's fine. I think it's more just like there is some level of confusion about how it should look.
Oh, did you lose me?
I lost you for a second. You're back.
That's not what I meant to do. I do know in Great Ace Attorney, which mostly because I watched it. They have an actual jury you have to convince.
Makes sense.
Which I find it's one of the cases. Like, I'm glad it was introduced here, not in the main game, because with everything else, god damn it.
Yeah. There is, like, some level of we can kind of excuse this because, you know, it's not like he's the whole court system within this particular version of reality has been somewhat altered due to multiple reasons. So you can kind of get away with things on the writing scale for this one.
If I vaguely remember something in, I think, Apollo Justice revealed that we're bringing the jury back. We're like
Really?
we're televising cases now, and that is like used as the downfall for the villain.
Interesting.
I
We
don't
need to
know.
get to that series at some point, probably.
Yeah, I don't have it, but I want to get through this and maybe Great Ace Attorney first.
Yeah, understandable. Taken in for questioning. You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. I don't know what... Did he get cold feet? What?
Yeah, no, he just ran, I guess. I don't know.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I wish to do some more murdering, actually. My OCD is kicking in and I need to kill more people.
Just the idea of him just like busting out and just like, oops, surprise, I'm not finished.
Why do you think I smuggled it in this knife? I just came to stab some police blood to my resume.
Why do you run all the way over to your sister's office?
I smell young child blood. Oh, that was worse. That's terrible even for me.
That was worse. That was worse.
Because the detective's office and the question room were right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? Delana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
Oh, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me!
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective?
I mean, okay, so this is going back to an very early comment of how she and Manfei are friends. And it does, like, you can be a prosecutor and you can be a defense attorney and still be friends. It's just your job.
Yeah.
The additional evidence of she was a detective until recently makes it a little bit more likely how they became friends, just with, how they interact and all that.
Yeah. At the very least, they would explain like why she kind of knew more about Edgeworth. It would also explain how she was able to get fabricated evidence to Edgeworth. Namely, the idea that she might have had a direct hand in admitting that evidence. Doesn't make anything she did good, though.
Nope.
I'd better have another talk with her. I don't know why exactly this part here is very surprising to him, though. It's kind of the thing that gets me, like... It's not like there's anything really that majorly groundbreaking about suddenly finding out that she used to be a detective. That's kind of normal.
Phoenix doesn't know a lot of things.
Yeah, he doesn't know a lot of things.
He was technically still in training, I think, in his first case. And then his second... By the way, I'm looking at like the image gallery for Dick Gumshoe, and some of the actors who play him in the stage play look very handsome and very much not like Dick Gumshoe in that matter.
Oh no. Well, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just a case of, oh, well, yes, sir.
Easy.
That doesn't show it in bottom right. You have to either click on the image or let me try that again. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, jeez. It's good. I feel like they needed somebody that might have been like a bit more imposing looking. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It's also a stage show where...
It is a stage show, yeah. It's kind of hard to get everything exact. But that's the thing about Dick Gumshoe. He really does look like somebody that you could just, like, see on the street somewhere. Like, his outfit is generally very normal looking. Yeah, he's like literally just wearing a standard suit. The suit is open, and then a jacket over that. That's not that bad.
Apparently, he was a rookie detective. He had a more beige, light brown suit jacket. Still, yeah. You know what? That makes perfect sense. Dick Gumshoe's personality reflects his outfit, and since a good part of this is the theater nerd in me talking again. A good part of stage performance is costume design. I swear to God, I once overheard someone saying that costume design is not important, and I was going to a different class, so I couldn't stop and yell at him. Also, I didn't know the guy.
That would have been bad.
Just yelling at this guy I've never met before in my life about how costume design is very important. It would probably get me in trouble.
It would.
There's also apparently a musical, and well, I can see that happening. I'm also so I'm going to slightly go off track just for a quick second to just talk about a very important part of musicals, and then we'll go back right on track. What you should understand is whenever musicals happen, is someone experiencing an extremely emotional response. That's how it's expressed in musicals. Someone's having like an emotional thing, and then music happens. Which is why a lot of musicals can either have dark, gritty songs or happy songs or whatever. That's just intense emotion happening. But it's also like Phoenix Wright, so I'm a bit confused why it says musical and not opera.
Yeah, the music in these games are usually very intense and a big part of the series.
I mean, I don't think opera's usually like a lot of singing, and sometimes it's a different brand of singing. So I might be just getting my things mixed up again, but I'm usually under the impression a musical has occasionally talking bits in between, and an opera is all music.
Yeah, that does sound about right.
So like Les Miserables would count as a musical, count as an opera, because I've had the soundtrack. I listen to my life. From moment 1 to moment 0, it's singing. They're also in France, so everyone's also overly emotional.
Well, there goes the French audience.
I'm pretty sure they'll agree with me, actually.
You know what? They'd agree just on the basis of it being in Paris.
Yeah, it's in Paris, and it's also like 1800s era France. Not 1800, post Napoleon War, in the sense that a character is implied to have been a member of said Napoleon War or Napoleon Army. And I believe he's middle-aged.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Slight spoilers for the book and the movie. I've read both. I've done both. I did the book for a class project. I recommend reading the book only if you're a big fan of the musical, because it does explain things in the musical. It's also a very dense book. You get backstories for every character.
Oh my goodness.
like every name character, I think, but also like the priest, and the priest only shows up like in one thing and then is gone forever. Like I think it's mentioned he was. They say it pretty much sum it up in the musical, but yeah, he was in the Napoleon's army robbing the dead. Thénardier, I believe his name is. Monsieur Thénardier, who is an asshole. He is in this film that's mostly tragedy, he and his wife are the comic relief.
I recall those two from the play, yeah.
Of these two characters, I kind of like how they do comic relief in the sense of, here's a guy that's a complete scumbag. Here's his wife who's not much better.
Birds of a feather, isn't it?
Yeah. I kind of really want to talk about. I want to talk about like two scenes I really like from the musical, and then I will continue on because otherwise I'm just going to start humming the musical because that's what I've listened to the musical. It's both of them are both.
Be like in the middle of a scene. I'm just gonna hear.
I'll be speaking on cue. Both times is literally the entire thing is the Donaire is trying to get money out of the person he's talking to. The first time, like Valjean's come to collect Colette because her mother's dead, and they've been conning her for money, the mother for money, to the point of her own death because again they're scumbags. And if I remember it correctly, basically Valjean catches on that they're scamming him, and basically like, fine, I'll give you the money, and then Dex Thénardier before as he leaves, leaving the money because you know he can't have much of a paper trail on the grounds that he's squandered by the police for breaking parole. And then, like, at the end of the play where Marius and Colette are to be married, he comes back and is like, I have something to inform you about your husband-to-be. He's a crook. He's a criminal. I saw him carrying a body that day. I had the wallet to prove it. And Marius pretty much goes, that's mine. And decks him and kicks him out of the wedding. He basically thought they tries to blackmail Marius on. Tries to blackmail Marius. Basically goes, hey, your father. This would be a massive scandal. Your father-in-law was a crook. I have his I have this wallet I took off the dead body he was carrying. But you know, if you spot me and this is a few I think it's francs. I think
it's francs.
Yeah, the curse breaker is francs. A few francs, I'll be on my way. I won't tell anyone. And like I said, Marius pretty goes, that's mine. He has like a sort of internal monologue of like, oh, Valjean was the man who saved me that night. But it's immediately followed by that's mine. I'm kicking you out of the damn wedding. And in the musical, they're literally be carried out, which is a lot hilarious. I think in the play, it's been years since I've seen it. I think they're just dragged out, which is a lot less satisfying.
Yeah, I do like the idea of them just being like picked up and then just waltzed out of there, just like, yep, you did a dumb. You ticked off the wrong guy. Congrats.
I would love to play, like, not in an actual play setting because that involves actual singing and actual balking, and being on Broadway is. Beetlejuice says it the best. You're on it like 8 times a week.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I've heard some people like, I want to be on Broadway, and the moment I can think of is, you do realize how much work that is, right?
understand this is not an easy job.
There's a reason why Broadway gets the big bucks. You are working, Sunday to Sunday, I think twice on weekends, or in like blocks. You basically don't have time to. You basically follow the same thing over and over again, which all plays do that, so that's not as big a deal. But you don't get any breaks. If like intermissions, I believe it's also for actors as well. It's 50% setting up for the next scene, 50% letting it's a part of it is setting up the next scene, part of it is like letting the people in the theater get up, walk around, go to the bathroom, eat something, and another part is just like, okay, we got 10 minutes or so to get ready for the next act. We also need to go use the bathroom. And unlike in like people in the audience, I've gone so off track and I apologize. Unlike people in the audience who can get up and just miss part of the play, they can't get up and leave the stage.
Yeah, you have to be there the entire time. It's not easy, is it?
Yeah, television actors have it a little bit easier. They're just going like through blocking stuff. But if someone just goes to the bathroom, it's not smiled upon, but at least you're not ruining the experience for like a whole group of people who will see you. It's just a case of go to the bathroom, come back. Maybe your understudy or whatever will read the lines for you. Stuff like I don't know much about television acting, to be fair. I know a lot more about theater acting. But yeah. Anytime I hear someone say that acting's an easy job, I just like, it's just memorizing stuff like, man, you have no fucking idea.
A lot of schedules and other things that you got to keep in mind.
My dad did Lion King and Hunchback of Notre Dame, but he did best for Lion King. And those are kids. Those are actual kids. They have schoolwork. You're not getting out of schoolwork. I remember him talking about one time, I don't know the statute of limitation of this, I'm being vague, but it's like during October and Halloween, they sort of had trick-or-treating in-house. Because they're kids, they shouldn't, like, be denied a popular holiday. But they had trick-or-treating in-house of the theater. They didn't go out. Because I believe they had a show the next day.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's just not easy to deal with.
But there was a public thing during the pandemic of doing like plays online. I'd love to either see or participate in one for Les Miserables. I'm botching that pronunciation. I apologize.
Yeah, that was not quite what I think that's pronounced as.
Les Miserables. It's the miserable ones. It's the miserables.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of got it.
Right. Let's continue, because now I'm just going to spiral.
Yep. As we do.
The artistic way. We have to go to the chief's.
To the detention center to talk to Lana. It turns out she wasn't telling us the whole story. Lana.
Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Oh, yes, I was found guilty. I was innocent. Those people died without me intervening.
They all tripped onto my knife, you see.
They ran into my knife. They ran into my knife 10 times. Believe me,
the becoming human 16 stab wounds line.
I'm continuing to make theater musical references. Believe me, I understand the risks. That's you.
Lana. Emma told me about you.
Oh?
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs?
No, and then just leaves. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright.
I
I
gotta be
killed.
honest with you, right? That's not an unusual change of job. It's actually very common.
Maybe it is Japan, or maybe Shintakumi
No,
thinks it's unusual.
not really. It, I think it's fairly common, and it's something that a lot of people in the business do. They try to get experience as different aspects of their job, which for some people would be detectives. A lot of revelations were uncovered at that trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence of that case was stolen as well. This just makes the IOU joke we made a while back a lot more hilarious.
Yeah.
I know it's Jake Marshall did that, but still. Though I expected as much. I know how obsessive I'm skipping again. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. At
You know how
trial.
hard it is to reset your vocal track? It's really difficult to reach in there. You gotta stop doing this.
Really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing.
That was a change in tone, Emma.
Was this picture was this taken mid-blink? God's eyes are closed.
Yeah, buddy. You know that even if you don't look at the camera, it still takes the picture, right?
There's just soft snoring coming from him.
Actually, that might be the case.
Yeah, it looks like a guy who's mastered the art of sleeping standing up.
Yeah, he does.
Still talk about the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant.
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Is this a Minority Report? Is there like psychic cake somewhere in the detective office?
No. The only thought I had about that was just like, Emma, that's bad. Actually, you know that, right? That means that like those people might not have committed a crime. Emma, and if it really idolizes her big sister, but I think that might be a bad thing.
She really loves looking for those rose-covered glasses at first.
Yep. And now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned to become a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so I can use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SO9 case was crucial in its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
second in command. That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right?
Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and shared the same investigations.
You even have the same office.
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Before I continue, I just noticed that Detective Goodman's tie is polka dotted.
Yeah. He's wearing a polka dot tie.
Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It's the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place.
And he tried to murder Emma.
It's an addiction! I just have to have one more murder on my hands! Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. See, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us.
Oh, hello, when did you get in here, little miss?
Oh, talking about what? Talking to the cat?
Yeah, Stormy's on my bed, I just noticed.
Oh. Yeah. It's a cat. Let it do as it so pleases.
The cat's favorite thing to do is sleep on things. So we pretend she just likes to sleep on whatever she agrees is a bed, which is everything.
This is a bed. That's a bed. That's just a complicated form of a bed.
Yeah, pretty much, actually. She'll sleep on cardboard, she'll sleep on bubble wrap.
I admit, the bubble wrap is a little funny. Anyways, continuing on.
Detective Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So we waited until Gant and Marshall left their guards down and then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Mark.
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark.
Oh. And return. Up. I'm back. It happened again. Now you gotta stop banishing me to the Shadow Realm.
Don't you have like a summer home there as a DM?
Yeah, but you don't send me there. You just send me out into the darkness. I don't even have a flashlight on hand.
When I turned to my office, I saw three bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
Oh, so you're just gonna ignore that, okay.
I thought don't you have a phone? Don't those have flashlights built in?
It's not in my pocket right now.
Well, that's a skill issue.
Okay, you're getting murdered on Thursday. You must pay for these crimes.
I mean, on Thursday I'm fighting the hordes of darkness, so you might have to you might have to take a number.
Oh, 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out,
And the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a mild concussion and lay unconscious.
what'd you do?
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Good idea. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident?
That's right. Quite a coincidence,
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in the trial was also involved in that incident.
Phoenix? I understand where you're coming from here, man, but...
No, he's got a good point here. Like, this is way too much of a coincidence. Just by chance, yeah.
That case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came quite a surprise to me as well. For once, I thought he retired, and for another... After his brothers died, he changed completely. He started using a lot more Western slang.
Oh, you mean he wasn't always like that?
Oh no. He was actually much more milder.
Can we have that back, please?
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. I actually seen the concept art of him. Apparently he had a guitar.
Really?
And a cactus in his pocket.
Okay, the cactus is fun.
I think they removed it just to make it less busy, but I kind of wish they kept the guitar.
Yeah, the guitar at the very least would be good. Oh well. Gotta make some, sacrifices, I guess.
Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet. Everyone was assaulted by Dark at the police station, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere.
Things seem kind of quiet around here today.
You're right. The chief of the detectives seems the same, though.
I'm gonna go look for some other people to talk to.
Right. We can come back later.
So I'm trying to find the chief's office. Howdy, Bambita. Oh, Mr. Marshall! I never thought things turned out the way when I woke up this morning. Yes, Sarah. You know where life takes you, where life will lead you, eh, Bambita? I should know my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy?
Must be his pet cactus. Hey, where are you headed?
Jail. So we're the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If there was a case I need to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in... Oh, that's you.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean fishing?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. Question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
it means there was a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
So the facts have been concealed with forced evidence?
Now, that case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SO9 incident left behind. I ain't got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honors that very day.
Highest honor? You mean the...
King of prosecutors.
I knew it.
There's a fighting game called King of Fighters. Now it's just a mental image of prosecutors actually brawling it out to get the reward.
To get the shield.
I don't know if Edgeworth would use a rapier or would it actually use good old-fashioned fisticuffs.
Yeah, the funny thing is, one of the recent, like, I think it's Soul Calibur or something like that, allows you to create your own character, and people have been making anime characters down to a T for that game.
That's been the case for a while, actually. It's one of my favorite things about Soul Calibur.
Yeah, so, like, they've made, like, I think they've actually made Edgeworth in the game. They've made Usopp as well, which is hilarious.
I didn't know there was a slingshot character.
No, they made the buff version of him.
Oh.
Yeah. And his in-game name is Get Off My Ship.
Okay, I might have to go and find that one.
I'll send you the video of it. I think I can find it.
Yeah, Soul Calibur's always been one of those games like, oh, this is fun! I'm having fun playing this! And then immediately get distracted by character creator, and then that's all I do.
Yeah, it's hard not to lose track of things when you're playing that game.
I remember playing the version that had Star Wars characters. Like, oh, that's neat. I don't know much about Star Wars personally. Hey, I can make myself with this rapier.
I particularly love the one that had Link in it. That was a great time for me playing that one.
I think the same version, and like there was different characters for each generation for each console that came out, and I think the Xbox version had Spawn. I have no idea if it was voiced by Keith David or not.
Possibly not. I'm not sure.
I mean, it kind of feels like you can't get Spawn without Keith David.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for the prosecutor. Shows he's very good in the combat of court and in the ring.
Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. God, that makes Edgeworth getting that award all the more of an insult when you think about it.
Yeah.
Here's that thing for the person that you watched die.
It would explain why he wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
The day the day of the SNL incident took place, that was the same day as... That's right, it was the day of the evidence transferal.
Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. Tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently someone tried to stop you.
And that someone was Meekins. You know his name, Phoenix.
Really... But... No. I'm not going to say his name. Because if I say his name, he's going to appear. You and I both know this.
Oh, that's what he's talking about.
Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes with me. I'm gonna do the line entirely over. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that was investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Sarr was fired and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
They did something to him too, the commissioner would get suspicious. No, they're careful enough not to be too obvious.
They?
I'm not gonna lie, I think I said before, but I would love a prequel game where we can cover like all of the detectives and all of that are either dead or whatever.
Yeah, it would be really nice.
I would love to see how Detective Goodman talks. What are you talking about?
I would really love to see just like a couple of cases where it's not just Phoenix Wright, you know?
Yeah, that too. No,
Like,
get it.
I mean, there is the. I don't want to say it's like a sequel thing or anything like that, but whereas like Protege is the one handling the court cases.
But it's still like it's Phoenix Wright adjacent.
Yeah, I think it's still fine though because you're not exactly from his perspective the entire time.
No, it's like
it does show like a different version of Phoenix where he is completely disheartened because of what happened during the court cases.
and also to show that he's actually kind of a dork when you're not in control of him.
Yeah.
Don't get upset, Bambita. I mean, Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Detective Lead Damon Gant and Second Command Lana Skye. And there wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. The case was the biggest step in both of their careers. Have the case ended. Lana Chancellor, that's you. I'm bad.
Quit reading my mind. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that you mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
I mean, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambita, but her secret's too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago.
So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly entertaining.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He's the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. Someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I wouldn't even be a patrolman after today. Have you been drinking without popping that cap until now?
I don't know, actually.
You heard that pop, right?
I did hear that pop, yeah. I thought that was you.
Too bad I won't be around to work with you. Become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambia.
Okay, I really, really do wish that he would get like a pardon or something like that, just because of the circumstances of the case, so we could work with him. Because when he's not like being absolutely resistant, what are you doing? Oh, you went to the wrong location, didn't you?
I don't know I don't know how to get to the chief's office, so I'm just going to random locations.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. As I was saying, I would love to play a game where you work alongside Marshall more. I'd love to have him be added to the cast, actually, because his like how he's talking there, how very solemn he is and less jokey. it feels like that's who he really is, and he uses the Western stuff to kind of like hide his emotions a bit.
I agree with you, actually. Like, maybe he gets back on the Force or something.
Yeah. It would be nice to see that. It'd also be nice to see Lana and Emma working with you.
I mean, Emma
Like,
works with you.
Oh yeah, she does appear again later, doesn't she?
Oh, he was saying dialogue. I thought he was I was just skipping past things.
Oh, whoops.
What the chief prosecutor saying? I don't know who's voiced this guy, so I'll just do it.
I admit, I forgot who voiced him as well.
With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention her statement in the meeting in tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on here than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Not if you're planning the meals.
There.
Sir, we'd like to look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway.
To the other building and take the elevator up to the top floor.
Do you want to explain that, or should I?
Technically, I should, because you weren't there for the original adjoining hallway. So to explain it, I ran a Rise of the Rune Lords campaign a while back. And during that campaign, I had Moon and Chill as players. The initial couple of combats were just fine. Everything was absolutely normal with those. There was nothing out of the ordinary for an adventuring campaign with those. What kind of became a very hilarious running gag is the adjoining hallway system that Pathfinder uses very frequently. When there's like a hallway between two rooms, like a connecting thing, essentially, connecting hallway. And the reason that it's very funny to us is because every time that we run any dungeon campaign or anything like that, there's always at least one adjoining hallway that is there for no clear reason. It just exists.
Oops.
And we have no explanation for why it exists.
What the hell? You dropped out for like a second or two.
Oh no. It's hard to tell sometimes when there's no audio like right now.
I don't think much got lost. All I heard, it sounded almost like a deliberate pause or something.
I see. It might have been. I don't know. Either way, it's just very funny that we have this situation of, oh, hey, look, another adjoining hallway.
I wasn't there for it, but it does like come up whenever it comes up in Pathfinder games.
Yep. Moon in particular gets very frustrated with it because, you know, goddamn adjoining hallways.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right! You can't go in there! It's off limits!
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
What are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Wait a minute. We just explicitly got told we can't go in there, and then we just go in there. Also, holy organs, Batman.
Yeah. This was a shared office?
Well, it was. He may have remodeled it after she left. You know what? You know what would be absolutely hilarious?
What?
If this is his plan the entire time to get her to transfer to the prosecutor's office so he can get a loan office so he can put in the organ. The music. Whoa. Where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that organ. That's real, isn't it?
I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Batch. Botch.
Fuck.
Bach.
Yep.
I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was.
Oh, it's you two. Chief Gantz. He put that paper he was reading in the desk. So, Recto, you've been swimming lately. No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's everybody. Picture of Lana, Neil, and me. This is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together.
Can barely see Lana smiling, actually.
I just want to point out, there's so much evidence in this photo.
Yeah.
This is criminal.
Which is what we call foreshadowing.
This isn't foreshadowing. This is taking like the book on foreshadowing and using it to bludgeon the protagonist.
All of this will be important. Are you listening? Just shaking the viewer. That's it.
Like, there is no foreshadowing here. It's all very blatantly like, yep, he did it.
Well, maybe like Lemony Snicket foreshadowing.
Maybe, yeah.
Where the narrator is practically screaming at the reader, "This is important! Remember all of this! If you don't remember, your mother and I will be very ashamed of you!"
In defense of, like, Lemony Snicket, the books are called a series of unfortunate events. The book itself is foreshadowing.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I meant the sort of style of, like, the narrator's character in of itself.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And not like...
I feel like that the narrator is not just, like, describing things. It's a very interesting writing style.
And not in the case of, like, a character is doing the narration. No, the narrator is a separate character doing the narration.
Yeah. Which, like I said, I do like that. It is a very interesting style.
A slight aside, and then I'll press A. I do like the fact that the actual author keeps the kayfabe going. He's never Lemon Snicket. He's someone that Lemon Snicket has hired to do all these things.
Uh-huh.
He's never essentially off. And I find that amazing.
Something's not right with this picture. No! Can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Can't figure it out. What do you think, Nem? Oh. Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, this office... It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
But the case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore.
Ooh, that was foreboding a little bit, without even needing for his tie adjustment animation.
Was it the voice acting I did, or just the...
I was watching the text speak, because it was fast like, you know, we don't need to be anymore. No, I don't think you heard me. We don't need to investigate it anymore.
Yeah, it was a slow... I tried to get that as well with the tone there because that's
And you did it
very
quite well. I'm just
deliberate. Yeah, it's a very deliberate statement. Hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend to.
looks like we aren't welcome.
Seems that case isn't over with yet, after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around.
It turns out he's just really set with cleanliness, and it's slightly out of place, but to normal people, no one's gonna notice. I even dusted it today. Get out!
But
Get
it's
out!
still not clean. He's just flailing, like with the duster as he's running around the place.
Why did I sew an organ? Dust gets everywhere.
I can't believe he pressed that button. Does he not know how dusty these pipes are? I take a cleaner to them every day, but they still accumulate.
That sounds like an awesome. That sounds like an awesome red herring, like character to like a murder investigation where someone's like seems to be essentially cleaning up evidence. Like, no, it's they're just we have a phobia for
He's
like
just like a hypochondriac.
not a hypochondriac. That's someone who believes that they have every disease.
Oh, no, yeah, what is it then? It's something else.
Obsessive compulsive is what's normally used. I think that's a little bit like general. Just
Yeah, it's not quite that one.
I think there's honestly
Germaphobe?
germaphobe. He's just a germaphobe obsessed with making everything clean.
Yeah, he's just always freaking out because every time that he goes to a crime scene, he comes back and it has to be placed in his office. And it's just like, no!
No, I was thinking like a suspect.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like, if it was a police detective like this, that would absolutely be perfect because then you've got like a rather unique situation of
There's like two of
he,
them that are like that though.
yeah,
Adrian Monk and he's Belgium. I can't remember his name. Um, he's an Agatha Christie character.
mhm.
I keep thinking Christo. That's not his name. Christo is French and also terrible. Um, okay, I'm gonna look that up because I have the other thing also going in my brain and I can't have two at once.
Oh no! Now we've done it to him.
I mean, like a clue? I can do both.
There's got to be a way to get inside the chief's office.
Affairs department.
Hey, pal.
Hercule Poirot.
Interesting name.
He's Belgium, which is why he's called that. He's very much a neat freak. He's a little bit of a jackass.
Uh-huh.
Very good detective.
I see.
I fully recommend him just for the fact that they've recently released like two of his detective stories. He's the guy that covers strangers on the train.
Okay.
The famous one where everyone did it. Everyone had a good reason for
Right.
doing it, but everyone did it.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to figure out like some other good cases he's done. He has like a bald head. He has a little mustache. Um, he's one of he like a lot of Agatha Christie characters leans into his clear theme to get people to not trust it, to drop the guard around him.
Uh-huh. Sounds good then. I'll have to take a look at that sometime.
There's also a TV series that I remember watching occasionally. Just it's not like a TV series you can binge because there's a lot. It went on for a while, but it's definitely a case of if you have the time, go and watch it. It's a
Mhm.
lot of the person who plays Perot in the TV series. I cannot I I cannot see I cannot hear anyone else do. Let me put it that way.
Understandable. Yeah, some people you just it's like Kevin Conroy with Batman. Rest his soul.
Yeah. Anyone who does it, I just think, he's doing his best, but someone's already done it perfectly.
There's a reason that people love Kevin Conroy's version of Batman, by the way, and it's something that like I recommend you watch a lot of the old Batman series, in particular for Kevin Conroy's acting, because if you want to create a vigilante, the way that Kevin does it is brilliant. So the character of Batman, it is well known that Bruce Wayne does not see himself as Bruce Wayne. He is Batman. This is kind of demonstrated in a number of ways. Like he's been hit with Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, where he has stated 100%, I am Batman.
I even remember one episode where Bruce Wayne basically realizes he's being mind controlled because his subconscious calls him Bruce.
Yeah. And the reason that this is important is it is also displayed in how Bruce speaks. And Kevin Conroy did this wonderfully. We've all seen the Dark Knight movies where he speaks in this like very gruff tone of voice most of the time. And that's fine, but I kind of prefer the way that Kevin did it, where Bruce does, or like Batman does not have a gruff voice. He does not have a like very strained, clearly altering how he speaks kind of tone. The way that he talks is very natural, it's fluid, it doesn't feel forced at all. It feels like just a person speaking. And the reason for that is that, again, he sees himself as Batman. He does not see himself as another person. So when he talks as Bruce Wayne, it's this very like light, it's a bit of a higher pitch, not too much, and it's very kind of happy-go-lucky almost, where he's trying to play up the like billionaire philanthropist
The billionaire
that
playboy
steps,
philanthropist.
yeah, billionaire playboy philanthropist. It sounds different, but neither voice feels forced, and it instead feels more like Bruce Wayne is the mask, Batman is the true identity. And it's a wonderful way to play a vigilante because it makes it feel less like somebody playing someone else and it makes it feel more like two sides of a singular person.
I
Just something I kind of had to bring up for voice acting a bit.
You know what? That's perfectly logical. I don't want to give up. Like famously in the murder on the Orange Express, the plot twist is that everyone did it. I thought this was well known, and it didn't. I remember Zelly, some none of you guys know about, but we know about, got mad at me when I joked about spoiling the plot to the recent revival of Murder of the Orient Express, because
Uh,
I thought everyone has seen. I have a problem that I'm
you
recently
thought
trying.
everybody saw it, and
I thought everyone was familiar with the character, and I have an admitted problem that I'm working on that I assume everyone has seen the same things I've seen.
yeah, it's something that like you got to kind of remember sometimes that sometimes people don't see everything. Like I don't assume that you saw Star Wars, for instance. Most people would. And there are things I could gush about with Star Wars that, you know, are probably things that you should see yourself. But there are also things I can gush about that aren't things that you would normally see and instead involve more talking about how certain characters are portrayed and how certain aspects of the universe is displayed, which is interesting to me because that stuff is very great for writing and very great for inspiration. Anywho, We should continue on, because we've been staring at Gumshoe, and he's been looking at us, wondering when we're going to hit the button. There you go. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, either of you seen Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you and two in court. That sounds serious.
It's because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. And falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes. What the hell? Oh, right. I'm checking something, so it's attaching itself to my scroll wheel.
Yeah, let's talk to him. I'm sure he's got something to say.
I am sending you the opening theme to the TV show to listen at your leisure, because you will hear it a lot if you want to watch the TV show, and it's a very good theme, but if you're not a fan of it, then you might have to skip through it.
You gotta do the thing of like, this music is great, but I've heard it 15 times now.
I could hear it all day long, because it's a very good thing, but I know, like, some people can get tired.
Yeah,
I'm the type.
People could get tired of something like that. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Honest Guy is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor's responsible for the evidence they present in court. But no, that's not true, actually.
In Takumi's world.
No. Why would the prosecutor be blamed for this shit, huh?
I'm also gonna post it in the channel we normally use, because everyone should hear me thinks.
Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies.
Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work!
Yes, sir!
Let's go out to lunch Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat!
Yes, sir!
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir! Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Which is true, he could indeed crack. That is the thing that could happen here. I actually look at the file earlier. Well, the coffee was perfect.
Actually, can I say this one quick quote of from Agatha Christie about Poirot himself before we continue? It's one of my favorites.
Sure.
There are moments where I felt, why did they ever invent this detestable, bombastic, tiresome creature? Eternally straightening things, eternally boasting, eternally twirling his mustache and tilting his egg-shaped head. I point that out by a few strokes of the pen. I could destroy him utterly, replies Ah, crap, I just realized I don't pronounce the word. Grandiloquently. Impossible to get rid of Poirot like that. He is much too clever. That's the entirety of the quote, but...
I see.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries. You were just reading it. I understand that. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find something out? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean... when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. Ooh. Hey, Gumshoe, yeah. Awkward.
Yeah.
See, Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's where he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what is it? Well, what is it? A signed note that he... A signed confession saying he did it. In blood.
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman. What made him take the serial killer?
Oh, this is it. This is...
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed that accident. Then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. The kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came up to the scene and he was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
That's more of a spree killing, to be fair.
It is definitely... Yeah, you know?
For those who don't know, serial killers follow a theme. For lack of a better word, it could be something simple as... it's compulsion, basically. This is just like someone who's very bad at hiding evidence.
This is, you know what this is? This is literally Markiplier. No, because Markiplier had an entire thing, like he was playing as Morphstache, where Morphstache killed somebody. Then somebody walked in, so he shot them. Then somebody heard the gunshot, then walked in, so he shot them as well. And just kept going. And eventually it's like, there's a small child crying. Oh no, he saw the crime. I have to shoot the small child. It just keeps going. That's basically what this is. Just, oh shit, somebody saw the crime. I have to shoot them. Oh god, somebody else saw the crime. I have to deal with them. Oh, son of a bitch, I have to shoot this one too.
Dude! I can't do the Warship accent because there's 50% him trying to keep a mustache on his face.
Yeah, it is. It is. Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
Just the idea of him stabbing someone. No witnesses! No witnesses! No witnesses!
Oh, God. Of course, this is all conjecture.
Man's dead.
There wasn't a single shred of evidence. Ow! So he turned himself in. Hold on. How was there not any evidence that he murdered about 5 people in in a row there?
He's very good at making sure there aren't any witnesses.
Oh, shit. That's a lot of evidence, buddy. Yes, in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall.
Doesn't seem to fit his theme, although he might have just been like, fuck it.
Shit, he saw me attempting to kill a small child. It really doesn't fit the scene, does it?
Yeah.
That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily, Jork was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma, not that one.
The other knife, yeah. I just misremember where it was.
Gee, how'd you misremember it? It has the name of the crime scene on it.
Right, I have these presented to show them evidence.
Yes, you do. You keep doing this.
I have 2 games in between on this every week that I stream, and several other games I just play for fun.
Uh-huh. Still. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SO9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife has been locked away in a locker. That's you.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. Go on.
And
When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Go on.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before I forget again!
Damn it, I lost it.
Give me $50!
I remember then. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it, too.
Oops, I completely, I blanked out on that.
Yep. That's where it's left right now. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway. Way to make me feel like an idiot there. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet. Down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
There's still something very off about that, I should note. Like, it just feel like, based on what we know so far, we know that something is wrong. We just don't know what.
Oh, I get it completely. Because, well, the thing is, I partially also know all of the evidence that for the actual killer. I'm just not telling you.
I've forgotten some of it is the thing. I know that the knife was not used to kill him. I just, it's been a little bit. And I am trying like my best to, I guess maybe forcefully forget all the things I know about this particular case, which includes like what the actual murder weapon is. Well, okay, I say that, but I did kind of remember it immediately upon seeing it. It's kind of hard to forget that one.
Yeah. Also, I'm sending you an obituary when the character Perot was retired because I completely forgot this was a thing.
Really?
You don't have to look at it right now. It's just one of the cases of beloved character.
Yeah, no, I can understand. Like people made an obituary for him. That's actually fantastic. You gotta love the amount of like, if you make a good character, people will love it, and seeing them love it is such a wonderful thing. Anywho, well, there you have it in a nutshell.
Still you. Did I lose
The
you?
line is, "That's all I know."
I lost you. I'm sorry.
God damn it! Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Cam. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief is out now, and his office is locked. I would like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, a detective's ID can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if a LS civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
They already don't let you in the loop. No, this is a very worst thing. I will be fired.
My pay will be docked again.
In the sense that I will not be paid anymore.
I will not have a pay anymore. You understand?
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh.
Literally, they'll kill me.
Sorry, pal.
You should understand, any organization that has the Blue Badger here is very much fine with murder.
I need to find another job fast, man.
Hey, are you hiring in the future?
So long. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day you died. That is actually really good. I'm glad you guys are on top of that.
I had to remind them a couple of times. Oh.
In other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I mean, you could steal another ID card. Just go full point-and-click adventure of it.
How's it going, buddy? You know, the immediate target would be Beacons. Would not be hard to get him to drop his ID card.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. We don't have it yet, but we will.
It will be attained eventually.
I go now. Head prosecutor's office. So out. Doesn't this look familiar?
Oh yeah, it does. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is. Looks like he's writing something. I am of sound mind and... What are you doing here?
I cannot hear I am of sound mind without thinking of the Sea-Wiz targeting the civilian airliner. That fucking thing. Oh god. He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth! I'm rooting for you! I don't... Sure, little girl.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his feelings.
So what did you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing you can do can erase that fact.
Well, you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If the bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains the same no matter what excuse I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up.
I'm trying my best. Right.
He's trying, and that says something, you know?
He's a professional above all else. First last year's trial, and now this one. Seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists, one twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
Anthony Marshall was murdered. I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture. Something seems strange about it. Can you tell us again what happened that day?
No. Leave my office.
Okay, Edgeworth, I'll give you some time alone.
Still you.
That day, Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished at the office in the morning, then drove to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it's a piece of evidence in the case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
Yes, that's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right. Hey Edgeworth, look at this!
This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office.
Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, that's something that bothers me. Yes? Trophy Mr. Marshall was holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now.
Remember what?
That was when the official prosecutor trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. I've told about this before, but I'll tell about it again. A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the word is based on.
Yeah, I think we talked about this actually when it first came up. That it was meant to be the unbreakable shield and the unstoppable sword, right?
Yep, it's this right here. This word originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. First meaning halberd, the second meaning shield. Have you heard the story?
Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake.
Very well. I don't believe you, but very well.
You can't prove it.
I love it's using the cross-examination music. Long ago in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other.
Very respective. But again, you've heard the story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. The king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. Ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even for those in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, we had the halberd part of the ward abolished.
Chief Gant. I wonder what he was writing before.
Wright, don't look at that. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him. Let's check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe at the window? Oh no, he's falling to the ground!
Hold on. First, let me see what the girl's doing. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet.
He didn't even look.
What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean...
I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault. I know that. The path I walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one should forgive me either.
Uh-oh, I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything.
Is there anything else I can present him out of curiosity?
Maybe the murder weapon? The knife? Okay, never mind.
Right, please, I'm the prosecutor on this case. Don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea.
I'll pass on this to you. Just tell me about the case.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very stylish manner.
Whose side are you on anyway? If I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him.
I got it once. Once dreamed of being a defense attorney, a long time ago. What? You want to be a defense attorney, Mr. Edgeworth? Yet a certain path is laid out before me. I have no time to look back on what might have been.
You can still swap. I mean, you know, the person that we're defending swapped pretty recently, if I recall correctly.
She went to the detective prosecutor. Not defendant to prosecutor to defend. Not defendant. Yeah. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. At the same time, like, that's a pretty large swap, isn't it?
Would either care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
The star. I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up the case from 2 years ago.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me that humans are very weird.
We do that with mushrooms, man.
No. Really quick, and this fits the music. Think about peppers for like 5 seconds. Not like the standard ones that are, you know, just like a flavor kind of thing. They don't burn your mouth or anything like that. No. I'm talking about the ones that cause you to burn and like sweat profusely. Just think about it. The reason that that's happening is because these plants evolved to dissuade predators from eating them. Meanwhile, humans are just like, ha, this plant makes me feel funny. I'm gonna eat more of it.
Same thing with the caffeine, too.
Yeah. Humans are fucking weird, man. We don't make sense.
There's a reason why we are space orcs, or space bards, or space fae. Yeah. We are bizarre.
We do weird things. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence for that case was stolen. You've transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence.
That's why whenever I see media having humans be the number ones, I'm always like, I get what you mean, but I kind of want, like, a sci-fi game where you play an alien species, and then you hear about this whack job that's going around, then you find it's a human just, you know, doing human things.
Stellaris.
I never played Stellaris, so I'm technically in the clear.
It's a strategy game. So.
Oh yeah, that'd be why I never played it. I'm terrible at those.
There are like 2 different versions of the human colonies out there, and each one is fucking insane. Like, they're both normal until you start to expand, and then the humans are just like, hey, we did a thing. Because that's how it always goes.
I remember a Tumblr post pointing out that humans are pretty much like Doc Brown.
Yeah. Pretty much. Anyways, it's fun.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know the little scene I happened to witness?
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Wolf beast is meant to savored when eaten.
Miss Star's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago.
Knowing what actually happened just constantly makes me think that, man, she's going to feel bad when the truth comes out.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I think the entire reason that they dislike all these people, none of them are willing to believe that it could have been somebody on their own team. Because they all assume that with the death of their comrade, who would dare manipulate this case?
Joe Dark. That's a name I'm not soon to forget.
I understand why.
We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. That feels like a translation error.
Yeah.
Does gravy steam? In my experience, it doesn't.
No, the thing that gets me more is just like, ah, yes, a bowl of hot gravy. Why?
That's probably like pork buns or something.
Maybe it could be pork buns. Could be a bunch of things. The translation version of this game is so different. That's one of the things that like they go over in the when Legal watches the anime with the Japanese lawyer, is they talk about the naming conventions and things like that, and how they're still kind of puns, but not really.
They're less
Like,
over the top and more like Naruhodo, which is the name used in Great Ace Attorney, which I find I enjoy because Great Ace Attorney is supposed to be taking Victorian ages, so it has to be a lot more. It's also a lot Japan. There's a lot more formal.
yeah, and it supposedly means I see, or like it's a version of that, and it's kind of referring to him seeing through the contradictions of his opponents.
Meanwhile, it's right as in being correct, and Phoenix as in surviving all the bullshit that goes through him, and also it's like, who the fuck names the kid Phoenix?
With Edgeworth, actually, his name was interesting to me because his name is based on the Japanese version, referencing a double-edged sword, or like basically, something being kind of harmful to yourself or the like. Which is kind of like a reference to how he behaves during his prosecution as the story goes on, where he stops being entirely focused on getting the opponent convicted, and instead tries to search for the truth to find the proper, the person that did the crime. Because it does have a sincere change of behavior towards, I think, like the second game. Anywho, hit the button.
Sorry, I'm just checking out like an image of him in modern days, and he's wearing glasses, and it looks good on him. I'm so used to him not wearing glasses that it makes him look a lot more mature. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must be going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neo died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Actually, probably was sure I read that correctly. Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that SNL case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. The legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we're so shocked about how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of evidence?
Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. So it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
So you don't have... Oh, that's you.
You know, to prove anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. In that case, all of us Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. And I always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. I still hate her, though.
She was being used.
Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Gant led the lead investigation with Lana in second command. They were the best. I saw all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. That's you, my bad.
Is magnetism?
By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he'd handled.
Incredible evidence. You mean...
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though.
I take it she's talking about forged evidence.
Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always wanted to watch out for the other detectives. That's why he's so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as though she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have recovered from a shock. That also makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why. I'll never be able to forgive her. Why'd she have to turn so cold after that?
I think I get it. She's more upset about how she became rather than, like, what she did. It seems like. Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she?
Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief. That's right, having solved the SNL case, his position as chief was secured. There's only one thing left for him to control.
It SNL. It's not SNL. It's SL9.
Sorry.
I'm just like, is he accidentally doing this?
I'm trying to not call it. I heard a while back during another Let's Play calling it Sline, and I'm trying not to do that.
You call it SNL instead.
It's an honest accident.
It's a very funny one. Oh. Keep going.
So one thing left for him to control, and that's then no one can stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred?
He can control the chief prosecutor. He could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know. But one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change.
Last. I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess.
Oh wait, more bottom.
Shit. He's just like, yes, I've almost got it. Now just a little bit more, and he just looks out the window. What the fuck?
The metaphor is ruined by the fact that no, it's just a wooden disc. It's actually more bottom to this case. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Oh, well, that won't be hard. I think none here knows that I've been doing a lot of cooking lately.
Yeah, no, I've also done cooking. We both do cooking.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, no, it's not very hard to beat her cooking.
I was looking through the TV Tropes page on Miles Edgeworth, and apparently, under Berserk Russian, he didn't like me reminded that he was bad at origami as a child. Be quiet already! I'll never forget the shame of that day. You want a crane? I can now make a perfect quarter-inch crane without a single flaw. I don't know where that comes up.
I don't know either.
So I'm saying this now because, God, man, that.
What happened to him? that is quite something to suddenly hear from Edgeworth of all people. Where could that possibly come up?
The marker especially rip off his beloved Seal Samurai. Yeah, we know that. I don't. It might. There's two things that could possibly come from it in the games. It could come from the manga, of which he appears in both the Phoenix Wright version and the Ace Attorney version, or it might be a case from a case in the anime.
Either one is a possibility, yeah.
The Department of Criminal Affairs.
Oh, you're back. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey.
Once again, from the files of random things I've seen in my life, I remember watching. I don't know where I saw it. I remember seeing a Canadian buddy cop movie, where one side is, has a family, one side doesn't, and literally, the kid's talking about being a DJ, and he's trying to get a desk job because it would be safer for him and be able to provide for his family better, which I'm fine with. And he often basically mentions, "Well, I also hope to become a DJ soon." And that's literally the first thing I hear about when I think either desk jockey or DJ. My brain makes weird connections, and I don't know how to control that.
No, that's fine. Go ahead, make those weird connections later.
Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. Not letting you in the chief's office, period.
I want to check out that thing we just got before. Due to recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor.
You really wrote a letter of resignation.
Wow, even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. It still wasn't his fault.
Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world.
Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing. You just quit.
Well, not everyone sees it that way.
Truly take responsibility. You should have to work the rest of your life for no pay.
That's one tough grown-up world out there.
I mean, that's kind of like working in the jail system.
Yeah. It'd be my neck of the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there.
There's gotta be something been doing to make the detective change his mind.
Well, we have these two knives here. I take one, you take the other. Well, it's a crumpled up piece of paper.
I like you can see his face change as...
Yeah, he realizes what's on it. No way. Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far.
Mr. Edge really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice, too. Well, I know different now. He trusts us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. We betrayed him.
Detective.
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But
Here, take my ID card.
Make-
You can't do that if someone found out.
I wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. It's no secret I'm already on the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thank you. That is sad on so many levels.
The Gumshoe isn't very photogenic, is he?
Not really. Whatever you do, just don't say it to his face.
Look, his eyes are half.
God, poor Gumshoe.
His eyes are. He's built like a refrigerator.
Yeah, he really is. He is a block of a man. Yeah, and his mouth is half open.
You're saying this right in front of me, pal. Hey, each of his shirt buttons is off a notch.
And he's got that narrow end of his tie in the front. I think this goes beyond being a photogenic issue.
I just want to know his ID number. I didn't want to roast Gumshoe.
I know you didn't. He's standing right there too. He's just smiling like, I exposed my heart to you people, and this is how I'm repaid.
Here it goes, Mr. Wright.
Sounds like it worked.
Ba da da.
Organ again, yeah.
Da 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 da. We're in. I'm gonna find us now.
Detective Gumshoe's daughter. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Ah!
Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong.
I even said, "Wait up, guys! I'm going to catch up with you, make sure nothing goes wrong, and stomp with my big shoes."
I'm not even sure how you guys missed me. I'm built like a fucking fridge. So I came too.
I could push a car by myself. You mean like pedal it? Nope.
If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? I didn't. No. Hey, don't do that to my card. Phoenix, what the fuck, man?
Aren't those like plastic? Is that really hard to do?
I hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
Really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
The sewage patching is amazing!
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Let's see... What do I do? Apparently I just talked to him some more.
Really? You don't need to actually look in there or anything like that?
Not yet.
I know it's on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's?
Yes, this is where I was laying for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. Practice is a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be on alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party.
He didn't poison the punch.
We lost 3 people. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
Quite frankly, it's amazement we have so many. We have numbers to begin with.
I see.
So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk.
No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident.
Very well paid cleaning lady.
Who is told not to ask questions, otherwise people will be asking questions about her.
Namely, where did she go, and why is her body in several parts of Japan?
Yeah. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one VSL night crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think? Nah, you wouldn't be. No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's take a look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you, don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bubbling now. You don't just let it go like that.
This feels like the tutorial for people with autism.
Oh no, I think it's more just like Phoenix doesn't want to get involved. Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gantz might be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him?
Chief Gantz. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet.
He's a silver fox. That's not appropriate.
There you go, ignoring me again. Music is really good.
I think it's based on the organ.
It is, yeah.
Oh, that's wrong. This isn't what we're supposed to examine, just... It's there. I might as well point it out.
This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons. Sure is, pal. Chief doesn't care for reputations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this ring?
What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes.
You don't even have any taxes to pay. Be careful what you say. Who knows? The chief may be hiding in his armor as we speak.
Can you do your Chief Gant voice while muttering in your mouth?
I don't think you fit.
Oh, stop! Help! And if he did, he'll never be able to get back out.
Send assistance! Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy could be. I'm sure I'll have that job this instant if you don't get me out of here.
It starts shaking. We ignore it.
We accidentally nudge it out the window. Well, I guess the case is solved, guys.
Technically solved.
This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That word is ripe with intrigue. Okay. You can say so.
Looks like code needs to be entered in this panel to open it.
A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is.
Oh,
It's a bunch
fundamentally,
of sevens, isn't it?
it is a bunch of sevens. Just fundamentally hilarious that if you look at the keypad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9 are pristine, and 7's completely gone.
I wonder what the code is. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birthday? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing.
Reminds me of Disco Elysium a bit, because I think whenever there's a password, you can constantly ask, is it my birthday?
And one day it actually occurs, doesn't it?
I don't think so. I think it's never actually your birthday because you don't remember your birthday.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. That was hard.
1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Yeah. 0, 0, 0, 0.
Bingo.
What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal? I'm not even gonna try. The final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean that ID number?
You're doing what I do when you don't want to keep talking about things.
Look, I think you're 1-7 shy this time, actually. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside?
Are you money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look, if I'm going to be fired, I'm going to go give them plenty of reasons to.
I'm gonna go down swinging, damn it.
We cut away. We cut him back, trying to take the armor into his pockets. Look, it's a
shard from a broken gun. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? Man, it's almost like there's a picture just to the left.
something else in here too.
Okay, that's more important. What's this? Looks like a piece of leather cloth.
This is a handprint, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? That was all that was in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now.
It'd be immensely hilarious that after all this time, it's actually legitimate evidence and was just keeping it safe.
Yeah, that would be. I planned on turning this in eventually, but I forgot about it. I actually forgot the number to my safe. Thank you for that.
I'll be perfectly honest, it's a little bit embarrassing. I keep thinking, oh, I couldn't put my ID number. Everyone knows my ID number. It's 7 sevens. It's be completely impossible, so I've been sort of slowly trying to decode my own safe code.
You need to understand, I've been trying to get an industrial saw in order to cut through it. I legitimately thought I can't be that stupid. Apparently I was. And somehow it turned out I was not stupid. Because clearly it worked.
This is a very embarrassing day for Damon Gant.
If you don't mind, I would like to pay you to keep this quiet because this is incredibly embarrassing.
How would you like
Please report.
How would you like the exact cost it would take for my organ? No, not my internal ones. The organ itself.
I'm sure that costs more than a kidney. Oh, we skipped it.
Sorry, I thought you said.
Nope, nope. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you could prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line. Here. He's got a good point there. Technically, we don't have, like, the exact thing yet, but we're about to. It's kind of hard not to. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident? Oh, man. Gumshoe, you've got a good point. There's no way I can prove it. No.
Come on, there's gotta be something to show the detective.
I'm sure there is, Emma, but I just can't think of it. I can't think of what could possibly be exactly a match for this piece of evidence.
Is this not how I do it?
Maybe you need it. I don't know.
Let's examine the safe again to get the jar. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which we already done, so. That was an accident. I hit it by mistake. Okay. That's an accident. I didn't mean to type it again.
Technical difficulties, folks. Don't worry. We'll get it. Eventually.
Use all of the items on all of the things.
Oh boy, we've lost him.
Hey, look, they're hard to make out, but there's some dark red stains here.
Looks like blood.
You think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed?
How likely? This one looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer.
Then it'll be brown.
This jar was evidence of the SL9 incident. That might be when the blood got on it.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Maybe you need to present to Gumshoe the jar?
Maybe.
Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? Remember the three of us put that back together? Those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic.
Was this very piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of the insurance had an SL9 sticker on it. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know that fragment we just found? I told you.
I mean, this one that was in the safe?
That was my line.
Sorry. Yes, that one. That was in the safe.
Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what. Oh, that was Phoenix saying it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Now, go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
It's actually fun doing this voice, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
If I could piece this together again, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes.
Ah.
Rotate. Nope. Nope. There you go. Nope. You had it. There you go. Seeing you flip that thing around is the funniest shit. There, if it fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in the safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of the evidence from the SL9 incident. Hey guys, get a load of this! What? What is it? The piece you just attached. It's different from the others.
The British line on it.
The reddish line. That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
You know, Chief Gant somewhere else in the building.
I think we now can interact with the safe to get the other item. Or maybe we talk to him about it, either way. Nope, okay.
Let me double check.
Maybe we need to examine it.
No,
we have access to things. I mean, we aren't going to do a full investigation on why this thing is covered in blood right now? No?
Nope.
Fingerprint?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the wrong button. Huh? Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. So you want to take some fingerprints?
It's a great idea, Detective.
Alright, go to town. Sheesh. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about that cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Jeez, where's your sense of humor? Out the window. Same place you're going. In a moment.
Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth, then once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away.
What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. I was just thinking that. Like, how many times have we done this? Alright, let's get this over with. Here's we got him.
I just want to be sure.
I gave him my best shot.
That kind of result would be good for matching fingerprints, will it?
But it doesn't look like we'll get a clear result from this print.
Okay, let's try a different finger then.
Middle finger, I guess?
Yep.
Oh man, he flipped us off while he was making this handprint.
I turned up my turbo just to make this go faster.
You just can't be asked at this point, can you? It's just like, god damn it, I'm gonna be sitting here for a while. Might as well turn on the turbo. No, how can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought it'd be Dark's fingerprints.
Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's footprints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Note that the fingerprints are on a piece of cloth, not on the jar that's covered in blood. Kind of critical evidence there.
Gumshoe's just in our party. Where are you taking me, pal?
Good, where am I going?
Hello, Miss Sky.
We have a thingy for you.
I guess I'm here too now.
I guess I'm here too now.
That was a mistake.
You presented the wrong thing, huh?
Yeah, I'm supposed to present profiles, I think.
Ah, I see.
No, not that yet. Am I doing wrong? Oh, speak to her first.
Probably never did.
No? Oh, I forgot. I need to.
Flailing right now, aren't you?
I forgot to do something entirely, actually.
Uh-huh. What was that?
I have to examine his desk.
We just put him back in here. We should just stand there like, guys, what did we forget? Come on.
Wow, look at the size of Cheap Cat's desk. Nope, we're two. Keep going.
Speaking of that, when we were here earlier,
Blah, 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 blah.
oh yeah, he hid something in his desk. Oh yeah. I don't know what he was reading.
Ah, joke books.
This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence. In most cases, this list runs twice as long as this, though.
And look at the case's name.
Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say?
I wonder what this is doing here.
I said, I wonder
I was
what.
joking.
No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
It makes sense. The case is notoriously like that.
Half-size list of evidence. What would the other half of the list be doing?
It's actually a copy of the first list. I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case. What?
How could I? I doubt you heard anything I said in that moment.
I heard you said you broke something. I was worried for you.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm sorry. I laughed and it broke your game. I apologize.
Ah.
Because in that moment, it froze. I laughed and the game froze on me.
Oh.
You understand the funniness there, yeah?
Yes.
It's just like, yes, I made a slight laugh, therefore the game could not handle it and threw me out the window.
It happened. That happens a lot.
It does. Shame that happens. Anyways, it would appear so. Oh. That's interesting. Huh. Well, was I any help? Yes, of course. I mean, you weren't trying to get me to fingerprint you. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
I think that's
okay. When
scans.
is it? Yeah, it's probably Gant. In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? The chief can't! We didn't think you'd be back so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in science. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir?
No, I'm trying to remember all the other detectives that are equally wacky right now. One sec.
No, I was thinking of Marshall. He has a tendency to do that when he's so focused on his cases. Something about going where the wind blows.
No, I was thinking of Bobby Fulbright, actually. You don't know him. He's still they process to become a detective, but he's gung-ho about it, that's for sure.
You know, hold on, no. We are completely forgetting about the most obvious one, man.
What?
No,
Oh,
Meekins.
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 And no, he said detective.
He did say detective, but you never know. Oh. Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir. Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
For your stellar police work, I'm promoting you to prosecutor. Or firing you. I'll decide on the way.
We shall figure it out, I'm afraid. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
Me, sir?
I'd like to have a word with you.
But, sir, I'm not allowed.
You with the spiky hair. You're free to go.
Mr. Wright?
I don't think I have much of a choice.
No, it
Look,
kicks us
pal,
out.
Yep. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it. Now, I've seen the office Chief Gant was hiding in his, or the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office. I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. Why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again.
Maybe if I give him back the $50 I borrowed from him.
After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions. So she'll be busy for the rest of the day. See, so the chief of the two.
I see. So the chief asks Emma to come in for questioning.
No use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
But I already told you all that I can.
Well, you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. I know who it is that's lurking behind your work.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth.
Once you've convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
Now's the chance to get to tell the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. He insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intruding notion. A certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No. I think afraid is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name?
Well, Miss Guy,
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I think she's not ready. She's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Can you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Ooh, I am getting some bitrate drop there. Seems fine though. Why would he try to hide his crimes? That is you.
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence.
Of course, these are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was...
Me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gant.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
You mean the cloth handprint, or do you mean the jar?
I believe it's the jar.
I just found this in the safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Okay, so either one will work. You know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than the Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It is as you summarized. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders. Even if it means being found guilty of for murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
Murder of Detective Goodman.
Perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details. I can say that I was given an order that day. I need to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You find it inside the trunk of Mile Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Correct. Trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk lock was broken. Discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body.
Murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife?
No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it.
The knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife.
I've come back from the grave! I know I'm ruining a very good scene, but I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
That would be Edgeworth's knife, right?
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hand was shaky at the thought of stabbing him. That's when I ended up cutting my hand.
And that is the reason for the bandage on your hand?
Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoe as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in.
It's Star, huh?
That does explain why there's no defensive wound in his body either.
Yeah, it does. Why'd you need to hide Dark's knife so badly?
It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't even want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible.
So you hid Dark's knife.
The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. In Edgeworth's exhaust pipe.
Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma.
I didn't want anyone forced to know about this.
That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
A bad feeling.
Truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall.
Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
He's very unreliable! The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden and I needed help. It's the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
Oh, you mean...
I just wanted to case the guy, he decided to take things into his own hands.
He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card.
He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. Sorry, I'm starting to yawn. I'm trying to prevent from yawning.
Uh-huh.
It's mostly not going as much as I'm trying to do.
Oh, that's you.
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
Alana.
You earned my respect, Mr. Wright. both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
There's only one way to drive off one is gotta get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago.
It's currently,
It is late.
yeah. So we'll see you guys next week for the finale of Ace Attorney.
At least this game. We may pick up the second one later on.
After we put something in
depends.
between.
Yeah. We'll do some stuff in between, possibly Stardew, possibly something else. We'll see.
Have a good
Yep.
rest of your day. Hope you guys stay safe.
Yep. And hope you all enjoyed this.
Hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Born or Bred. Hopefully I fixed the audio issue so you can hear me.
I was checking during this stream. It seemed like it was fine.
Okay, good. Then I'll do that. And on Thursday we'll do more Forgive Me Father 2. I don't know how much the game is done. It seems to be in early access, so once that's done, I'll just pick something else if we finish. If we don't finish, well, we'll see. Anyways, yeah, I guess Kyle's gonna do more of another Crab's Treasure.
Yep, I might be a bit late on Wednesday. I do have a dentist appointment that day. I'll figure it out. So don't worry too much about that.
Alright. We'll see you guys then.
See you all then.